Hello, you join me in what may well be the weirdest age of abundance yet. Now, you may not be alien to know that all these age of abundances are basically ways to get myself, as well as all of you, to earn achievements in the game that you wouldn't necessarily get. So, this one is no exception. There are various things in this game that are very unique to this game that I haven't experienced before and definitely go some way to making that happen. We start on turn 1, but really that's pretty much a fabrication because if you have a look, we have a whole dozen of cities. We've apparently explored a ton of the map. Every single city, including ones like this, have a legion unit in them. We have a bunch of the tree unlocked already, like the first era on both. Very, very weird. Also, we're playing as Julius Caesar, which is a leader I have never personally acquired. I think you had to do some connecting your account type thing. I don't know if it was to Firaxis's website or whatever. I never did that. I'm not really a big fan of doing all that just for a leader. I have no particular care for that much. But hey, this is an opportunity, at least in this game, to try him out. We're going to look at this a little bit later. I want to talk more about the first turn and this game in a nutshell. If I go to my saves, you will find that we are playing on Emperor difficulty. We are playing on epic speed, whatever that means. But I tell you what, if you look there, there is no max turn limit. And we're also playing on a small map with standard rules. This means that while we have 8 other AI opponents, that does not correspond to your standard fare of having a standard sized map, if not even bigger. What's also odd is, what possibly the most odd thing about it at all, is that they're all one team, if you notice. They all have this weird thing. Team 2 is leading in domination victory because they of course have almost every other capital other than yours. So you're basically fighting against an entire team. I was very worried about this because I thought that maybe they would be able to earn a diplomatic victory in only a couple of Congress if they're going to aggregate add up every single one of these members to 20. That's not going to take very long when you have 8 of them compared to 1. But no. One of the 8 has to have 20 to win a diplomatic victory. So rest assured it was fine. In addition, about caps and so on, you may notice that while Rome is our cap and our largest city, it's also starving. Just not great. And on top of that, something weird that I noticed, presumably in the development of this very custom map. If we go to yields, you'll find that our top city is Ostia. And it's not until Rome, down at 4th, do we see our capital. Like, it makes me think that if this is like by standard rules, that when they made this game, they first placed Ostia, then Brundisium, then Cumae, and then Rome? Like when they customly built this, they built these cities first? Very, 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 very odd. You may notice that some of these cities, like Ravenna, are under severe loyalty pressure. We have ourselves 2 government title positions. A government title position, summoning a governor, can give us a benefit of there's Cumae. of +8 loyalty pressure. In the face of 12 loyalty pressure, we can reduce that to a relatively manageable amount, which is around about 4. Maybe we use money to buy or whatever, build a monument, whatever that may be. That can be alleviated. However, this one, Mediolanum, is suffering -23. Even if we boosted this by 8 or even a little more than that, it would still not take very long at all to be lost. If you notice and remember our last game, which was our religious game with Kublai Khan, I had to sell Longxi to be able to kind of like function, because we were not going to be able to retain Longxi for the rest of the game. In this case, I advise that one of the first things that you do is sell Mediolanum. We definitely sell this city fairly early on. Yeah, it's very strange. Also, I would recommend basically to start out by putting, with our 2 governor title positions in the first place, someone like Magnus, especially for that potential growth boost if you want it, in Ravenna, to alleviate its relatively minor loyalty concerns. And in Rome, the only city that has 9 population, because if you notice, every other city has only 2, so not very useful for certain governors, we place Pingala. Because we're going to still need to boost our science and culture values. And we can basically cope with the rest. Some of them are under slight pressures, relatively minor. We can deal with that. I also chose, because in this game all various options of victory are available to you, to go for a religious victory. I just felt that that was something I could do relatively quickly compared to the other victories. Religious victory is usually a quicker victory. We already have quite a nice level of scope with the amount of cities that we have. So we have a lot of cities. There's quite a lot of mountainous terrain in this game. You can see very nicely that we can place some really nice holy sites in this, in these 2 tiles, albeit this is deer. We'll chop that in slight to help with building these holy sites. You know, we can make a lot of religion fairly quickly, and that seems to be the best way forward for us. Now, as I said, I was going to go back to his kit. It's one of the things that I like to do for every single game that we do. However, specifically for Julius Caesar here, since he is such a limited leader and this is the only game that I've ever played with him, it's kind of extra special. Veni Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. The very famous line. Plus 300 gold whenever you conquer a city for the first time, or when you earn gold from a barbarian outpost. We'll be doing the latter a couple of times. Maybe not too many times, but certainly you will see it. The first, if you like domination, if that's your bag, great. If you want to see what I think of domination, I highly recommend watching my last Age of Abundance video with Tomirus. I'm not such a fan. The gold becomes 500 after researching metal casting, and 700. Although, given inflation, if you will, I don't know what's best. After steel on standard speed. This is epic speed. I don't know how that relates. I think it's relatively the same. When targeting barbarians, receive +5 combat strength and always earn normal XP. That always earn normal XP is very strange. When are circumstances where you don't earn normal XP? I don't understand that. Anyway, all roads lead to Rome, another famous phrase. All cities you found or conquer start with a trading post. This is very much Trajan's ability as well. And it was very akin to like how Rome used to build their roads, very straight roads that would kind of like be, they would use old equipment to kind of gauge what a straight road would look like and things like that. If in trade route range of your capital, they also start with a road to it. Your trade routes earn +1 gold for passing through trade posts in your own cities. It's definitely very gold-centric so far. Legion, which we now have like a dozen of. And also, by the way, when you sell Mediolanum, which you'll see soon enough, move your legion out of that place just so that you don't lose it. Roman unique classical era melee unit that replaces the swordsman can build a Roman fort. Now I think they can only build one each, but that can be helpful, especially with any mob pressure and such. Bath, a district unique to Rome for city growth, basically replaces the aqueduct and is cheaper to build. It provides this city, whatever city is built in, with a source of fresh water from an adjacent river, lake, oasis, or mountain. Cities that do not yet have existing fresh water receive up to 6 housing. Cities that already have existing fresh water will instead only get 2 housing. If built adjacent to a geothermal fissure, +1 amenity, in all cases the bath provides an additional bonus of +2 housing and +1 amenity. Prevents food loss during drought, rather. Must be built adjacent to the city center. Military engineers can spend a charge to complete 20% of a bath's production. I very rarely, if ever, bother myself with getting a military engineer. It's just not something that I do. So, as we continue to grow this very spread out empire of ours, we have found ourselves a prophet. And not only that, with it, we'll be able to get over at least to a normal age. But honestly, we're trying to head for a golden age before the end of it, which we have 35 turns to do so. Currently, it's turn 26. Also, I want to mention that we did indeed sell Mediolanum for a decent price to Nubia, but it really doesn't matter who. Just as long as we don't need to worry about that anymore. It does suck that our nearby volcano friend has decided to give 10 turns to us making our holy site again, which makes us kind of struggle to know what we want to do here. Probably want to try and repair it, but a builder also takes a long time too, to get a chopper or whatever. Anyway, back to our religion. Let's go make it, shall we? We are indeed the first religion to make, giving us even more eras to go to work with. We have all the choices in the world. I'm not entirely sure what I go with, to be honest. I think I do go with Feed the World, just because, you know, all our cities, as you saw from earlier, are like size 2 and struggling to grow, as well as everything, including builders, as we just saw about other cities, takes forever to make. So it's not like I can just build farms and get out of it. So in this case, I think Feed the World is actually what I want to be doing here. And then in addition, because we are making a religious victory, I don't think anything else can quite possibly compete with Holy Order. It is just too important to make sure that we get access to it. We also chose River Goddess, by the way, because there are indeed a few rivers, and this definitely helps again with our city growth, which is quite important for the amount of cities that we've been given. The game is moving at a pace now, and we're now on turn 74, and we just made our first golden age. You can see everybody got a golden age somehow, but it doesn't matter. We have our cities, and we're not going to be under any loyalty pressure. We're not going to be building any more cities anyway. We are, however, going to be taking Exodus of the Evangelists, of course, so that we can push our main offensive of our religious game plan. This allows us +2 movement for all missionaries, apostles, and inquisitors, and additionally allows newly trained ones to get +2 charges, +4 great profit points. Return is irrelevant because we already got a profit, but you see the benefits here. You see how strong that is for what we're trying to do. Speaking of converting, we have already begun. We are in the moment of establishing Moksha to our city that is adjacent to other civilizations that we want to convert. We will be getting more promos, but we need 3 more to really make this work. In addition, we have found Yerevan. Everything is in place in the beginning to make this work. But with the addition of having those extra charges, I think it's okay to buy an apostle or 2. Even though they are quite expensive, we are still making quite a decent amount of faith per turn. Because getting 6 charges in itself is going to be very helpful. And we don't necessarily want to be waiting 10, 20 odd turns. You see, this takes 17 turns just to get 1 government pot slot. To get our needed promotions with the Ancestral Hall, well actually no, with the Audience Chamber, and get to the point where we actually got everything. We need to make a move on now. We need to be using our faith now in order to start converting cities already in the process to progress this game. You join us just before turn 100 on turn 96, and we've reached a pivotal moment. We have boosted and now are about to research Reformed Church and get access to theocracy. This is going to give our faith that much more mileage in purchasing the necessary apostle units that we need to continue converting all the other civilizations. So here we are, about to change our government from classical republic to theocracy. As you can see, it shows that we will gain +5 religious strength in theological combat for all our religious units. It's going to be necessary to make sure that other religions can't contest us, as well as a 15% discount on purchases with faith. If we have a look at our current cost for our religious units, you can see that it costs a whopping 600 faith to buy 1 more apostle, alongside 180 for a missionary. When we do the change, you can see that that value has now changed. Instead of 600 and 180 to only 475 and 140. So it clearly shows just how powerful and pivotal it is to get to such a government with the ability to buy that many more apostles. Latter stages now in this religious conquest, and you can see that we have been able to convert over half of the total civilizations in this 9 civilization game, including Ambiorix, the Gaul, which are posing quite a bit of a fight. They're still trying to hold on to their religion, Sikhism. They even have their own religious units to do so. But as long as we keep filing in some missionaries, and we've been using quite a few missionaries thanks to our golden age because of the +2 charges, we should be okay to keep them down since most of the cities still occupy our religion. And finally, after 142 turns in the naughty corner over here to the northeast, we are taking our victory here, converting the very last city, Taiwan, to tie the game up and seal the deal.
We have a basic need to believe in something greater than ourselves. We crave solace in the darkness, a light unto our path. Thanks to you, we found meaning amid the cosmos.
And there it is, another Age of Abundance video down. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like it, maybe follow the channel, give a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Till then.